Good morning. This morning, the Haiti mission team for this past summer has been asked to make a brief report to the congregation on our activities and our feelings about the mission. We're going to have pictures running behind us on the wall. We're not going to speak to each picture. We're going to talk about our experience. We think we've got them clued enough that you can take the clues from the word on the pictures to what we're saying. But this way, we'll just continue our narrative and you can watch the pictures and they'll roll through again. I want to start at the beginning of this trip in 2013. It began in 2010 when an earthquake hit Haiti in January of 2010. Our Sunday school was looking for a project which would link our kids to the needs of the people in Haiti. And we were able to connect with the Mennonite Central Committee, and if you remember, we collected supplies for families and put them in white plastic pails in the basement. Those pails went to the warehouse in Kitchener, where they were joined with other pails of goods and were shipped through the MCC network to the people of Haiti. Our youth group was involved in doing the packing, and on our way back, Nikki said to me, "Grandpa, I want to go where those pails are going." And that was the beginning of our involvement with the people of Haiti. We contacted the National Office of the United Church of Canada, and through funds that you provide to M&S, the staff person involved with Haiti, Jim Hodgins, was able to connect through the Methodist Church in the U.S. with an organization called HAPPY, which is Haitian Artisans for Peace International, which is an offshoot of the Methodist Church in the U.S., who are involved in community development in the village of Misac in southern Haiti. We are situated about 4 hours from the capital city in the south part of Haiti, on the side of a mountain, in a rural community. We literally live on a farm when we go to Haiti. And this past summer, we had a team of 5 go. Regrets this morning from 2 other members of the committee, of the team. Dawn Moyer is snowed in. She said her Focus wagon just doesn't make it through the drifts that are in her subdivision. And Peter Sanders is tied up with the family Christmas today. So Zachary, Corrigal, Nicole Langford, and myself will try to carry the ball and bring you our impressions, the activities, and stay that we had in Haiti in early August. I'm going to ask Nikki to tell us a bit about what she was involved with, not only this time. This is Nikki's 4th trip to Haiti. She went first in 2010, returned in 11, 12, and again now in 13. Nicole?
Over the years, we've been helping with pavilions and playground equipment, and Peace Pals. But I've personally been involved with a group called Valley 12. I might not have the wording correct, but it in English it is the New Stars, and it's a group of young girls. And the first year that I worked with them, there was an American there working with them for dance. And then last year I got to work with them by myself, so we did crafts. And then again this year I worked with them, but it was mainly photography. And it's just, and I've also worked with the clinic a bit in the co-op. And with the co-op, it's women from across the village and surrounding villages coming and working and creating crafts to sell and throughout the States as well as Canada. And in the clinic, it's, I'm sorry, I lost words right now. And with the clinic, I usually just kind of sat in and watched as the nurses worked, and Dawn had a big part in the clinic this year. And with Peace Pals, throughout the years, we've been donating different school supplies and soccer balls. And yeah, that's pretty pretty much everything that I've covered over the past 4 years of being in MISAC.
Okay, this was my first trip to Haiti. My main goals this year was helping Peter and Pierre, our Haitian mulberry product from Port-au-Prince. I had to build a set of metal stairs, to get the second floor of the new clinic they're building. And beyond that, I was helping with computer programming and their stuff, help get the new internet cafe they're trying to get, Roulette Center, their little community center they have in MISAC. So that way students can come in and they can, from university, they can do their homework, they can look up research and their stuff. Yeah, I don't know where that was. Pretty much every night, soccer is really big down there. So pretty much every night we went down and observed a bunch of different soccer games. And their soccer stadium is basically just a big open field, a big cliff on the side. So and there's no fences around it. So if the ball gets kicked over the fence, which is their human fence, someone has to go sprinting down the hill to go get the ball. And sometimes it's 10, 20 minutes before the ball gets brought back up to the next game again. And then sometimes they lose both balls and then everyone just kind of stands there. Wondering where the ball went, because they're way down the bottom of the valley.
One of the changes, when we first went in 2010, it was boys only, but now they have a girls' night, and there's girls' soccer as well. So that is one of the changes that's happened in the community. I'll comment on the healthcare program. This was Dawn's slot. During the course of the 3 years, we've evolved from just taking medical supplies, which we did do this year in response to their request. But we've also been asked to support maternal health care programs that they are running in the community. Happy runs a small clinic. There's pictures of it on the slides. It's about 10 by 10 in terms of size, and there's a reception area. There's also in the back a bed for examination purposes, and there's a small alley-type shelving area where medical supplies are kept. There's a nurse and a community health worker that are there in principle every day. It depends on what's happening in the community. It doesn't happen every day, but people walk sometimes 2 hours to come and visit this clinic and have their we'll say, minor needs met. Not surgical needs, but one of the areas that has been identified by the nurse and healthcare worker that is in deficit is support for pregnant moms and for new moms. So last year in 2012, we fundraised to help the two healthcare workers run a 2-day workshop for people to come and be educated on family planning. This year, we were asked to raise funds to support a 1-day seminar on family planning that was keyed at young people. There were over 50 in attendance, and with the exception of maybe 5 of those 50, 45, 50 people, they were all young people in their early 20s or late teens. And of those, a quarter were young boys, young men. And that was a real change in terms of the approach. The nurse felt it was important for young people to be informed of these issues. And as a result of that seminar, these two healthcare workers have now been asked and are presenting a similar program in the local public schools to raise the awareness of family planning and also to raise the awareness of the presence of HIV/AIDS and the impact that has on individuals and on society. So it's a big task, but these healthcare workers are addressing it with enthusiasm. One of the other things, an image I want to leave with you, excuse me, is in this small clinic and in the pavilion that we helped to build in 2010, there's a course for nurses, and there are 12 young women from the community who have just graduated as registered nurses as a result of courses that Happy has run for them in the community. Otherwise, the girls would have to leave home, travel to a large urban center, either Jacmel or to Port-au-Prince, to receive their studies. And many families with due cause are hesitant to have their teenage girls leave home to go to these urban centers to continue their education. But Fabi, the nurse, has been able, with funds provided from groups like our own, pay for resource people, doctors, and nurses to come to the community, give the courses there. The girls come each day, go home at night, and at the end of the course, they have a certificate in nursing. They can then go out and be employed at $400 a month as nurses. The average wage in Haiti is between $1 and $2 a day for laborers, so it really is a big advantage to these young women to be able to get their training in the community and then have a means of gaining their livelihood as nurses. One of the other things that we've done is connect Happy with a Canadian midwife who works in the neighboring town of Jacmel, and she has begun a maternal health clinic there, and as of this fall, we'll be providing training to the 2 healthcare workers in Misak in improving their knowledge and experience with delivering children and running a maternal health care program. So that's been a very positive aspect of our relationship. I happen to know of this woman, and we were able to make that connection, and that is now flourishing and providing assistance to the community. Crystal Dennis isn't here this morning, but when Crystal was with us last summer of 2012, we were asked by the community to begin a 4-H club program. I think a number of you have been exposed to 4-H as you grew up. There are no 4-H clubs in Haiti, but they were looking for ways to provide stimulus for young people in the community and asked if we would help them establish the 4-H program. So last year we began a garden club. We took seeds that were donated. They were planted while we were there. Shortly after we left, Hurricane Isaac came by, washed the seeds out, they replanted. Isaac left, Sandy showed up, Sandy washed the seeds away. They waited until March, replanted, and there's a picture on that show that gives you an idea of the kind of possibilities there are in terms of growing vegetables. They're harvesting cabbages in this picture, and the girls were very pleased to have had a successful, in the end, garden project, even though they had 2 washouts before they got there. This year, Imam, the pastor's wife, who's the leader of the 4-H program, asked if we would help extend that program. So the idea, the project that we had this summer, was working with the girls, going out to the home of a paraplegic named T. Pierre, and helping to plant a garden. This is right now is T. Pierre with Nikki at his home, so he could have more vegetables in his own garden to provide nourishment for himself. T. Pierre has a wheelchair that's powered by bicycle pedals, and he can get around the community pedaling his way. He comes to church every Sunday. It takes him nearly an hour to pedal his way from where he lives up to church. But he always has a smile on his face. And he was thrilled that the group were willing to think of him and spend some time preparing and sowing a garden. Before we left, the plants were up and were growing. One of the things that I want to leave with you, though, one of my impressions of this past summer that I will never forget, is a few days after we had planted this garden, and the girls did all the work. They brought machetes and picks and hoes, prepared the bed, and planted the seeds, covered it with palm trees, palm branches, so it wouldn't bake in the sun. Walked back home again. A couple days later, as I was traveling on a bike, we saw T. Pierre doing this. He was going out into an open field, along the side of which were stones that the farmer had cut off out of the field. He was picking up these stones, putting them in his vehicle, taking them back to a pothole in the road, tamping each stone down so the kids wouldn't get dirty when it rained. I said, T. Pierre, are you paid for this? Well, if people give me something, God bless them. If they don't, God bless them too. And to me, that epitomizes the giving and receiving that we experience as team members going to Haiti. We give, but we also receive much. And this kind of openness and willingness to share God's blessings is the inspiration that we receive as team members. One of the other areas that we have worked in this past year is supporting local farmers and improving food production. A young fellow is excuse me, acting as a volunteer with 3 farmers groups, and we are supporting him morally. We send emails back and forth, and with some finances to help organize the farmers to grow more vegetables to feed their families. One of the shortfalls is a lack of nutritious food. And so there's a habit of growing beans and rice, but that needs to be supplemented with fresh vegetables. So we're working with a number of groups and individuals there to help that take place. I'd like to finish by reading a letter from our partner in this endeavor, the happy director, Valerie Mossman Celeste. Valerie sends you greetings. Grace and peace to you this Sabbath morning. This week is the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. It is an appropriate time to remember and give thanks for all who have given of their prayers, presents, and gifts to those in Haiti, and in particular for the relationship with Happy. Likewise, I give thanks for the people in the community of Mizak who have given back much to their international friends in sharing their faith, hospitality, and creativity. Together, as global citizens and brothers and sisters in Christ, connected in ministry, we can and do live out the gospel message. They know we are Christians by our life. Thank you, Congregation of Strathroy, for your faithfulness and lifting up those members among you who are willing and able to go to Haiti. They have been ambassadors for your presence, working alongside adults and children in the community to improve health, agriculture, and vocational skills. Your ambassadors have always interacted with respect and compassion, building collaboration and trust. We pray that this relationship that has taken root will continue to grow and flourish, watered with the prayers and support of your congregation. Blessings and Christ's love. Valerie. I don't have a watch. Carol, how are you doing? Okay? Do we have 2 minutes for questions? Does anyone have questions that we might try to answer?
What's the population of the town? What's the population of this town?
John wants to know. John wants to know what the population is of Mizak. If you Google it, it says 35,000. But it's not a town like Strathroy at 35,000. It's a municipality that stretches over the side of the mountain. And people live on their properties, for the most part, with half, third, quarter acre as their farm. So that's the community that we work with. There aren't any large urban clusters of people. They live on the land that they grow the vegetables on. And they're subsistence farmers. They try to grow enough food to feed their families. There was a reason that I chose the water theme for the kids this morning. The well in the community of Mizak is badly contaminated. I brought back water samples, had them tested in our lab here in London, and it showed greater than 80 times the coliform and E. coli level that's allowable for drinking water. And that's the water these folks are paling out of a well. The reason we became interested was because the nurse said to us that waterborne diseases are the greatest cause of the sickness that they see at the clinic. And so, working with the community for the last year and a half, we're now at a point of engaging a well drilling rig, a faith-based group that drills water in Haiti. They promised to come and drill a new well for Mizak in February. They need a sponsor to help offset the cost of doing that, and that's why the funds that we collected at our Haiti supper are going towards paying for the drilling rig that will come excuse me, in February to drill a new well for the community and hopefully have abundant supply of clean water. It won't be piped, it will be with a pump, but it will be available to the community, and they will have excuse me, the resource of clean drinking water. Okay, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity and also for the opportunities that have been provided to us over the last 3 years to work with this community. We as participants have gained much. We hope you as supporters have also gained and have a sense that your faith is being put into action. The community that we first met with in 2010 in Mizak has now become a Methodist congregation. The name of their church is the Faith in Action Methodist Church of Haiti. And they see us working with them, putting our faith into action.